Hi viewers, welcome to my channel DevOps the menu. So actually in this video we would like to explore some real projects. For that I taken some source code which is a Python based code. So if you take any application like Java application, the process might be the same. So here my application is containing so many folders, like it is contain static. Here I gave the .css file, and under templates I'm having my index.html. So how my in uh, I mean how I can able to access my application and all. So and here I kept the main file like app.py. So here you can able to uh, run your application. So normally for Python applications we do use normally Python app.py, and apart from that here I kept requirement.txt files. So this requirement.txt file is required to install all the dependencies. First I'll run pip install hyphen or requirement.txt. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So let me go to the chartboard. Then pip install hyphen or requirement.txt. Click on that. So here I already installed, so it shows as a requirement already satisfied. But if you are installing for the first time, so all these four required dependents would be installed. So once if we got the requirement.txt installed, then we can run our main application using it. It is Python application, so we normally use the command python app.py. To run this application locally, we needs to have Python any 10 11 configuration would be. So if you don't know how to download the Python, you can check in a Google or something to download the Python version. Otherwise if you don't want to any local execution, you can ignore it, because here whatever we are doing, so we are doing in a real time world. This why I open this in a local execution. So first whenever we want to execute any applications like in a Java application, whether it be the Python application, so first we need to check everything working fine in local environment. Hence, I just opened my local desktop to showcase how my application is running. So then I can show you how we can connect to the EC2 instance. Inside EC2 instance, we'll run all this application, and we can dockerize application. Once it is dockerized, we can push that to ECR repo or GitHub. Then after that, we pushing to the required repositories. Then we can showcase our application. We can access through application. I'll show you how we can access through browser as well. So first just have a look on how we can execute locally. So when I run this python app.py, see here it is running on the 127.0 dot something one. So just you can copy and open the path. So see, this is a otherwise you can directly give localhost and give the port number. So this is my application. So I developed some like chatbot something. So if I give something like hi, so if I send, it will give hi, how can I assist you? And if I give uh something hi or something maybe, so whatever you give something like, so we'll get some response. So this is I developed. So this is you can able to access. This is local execution how I run. So now in real time, so we needs to dockerize this application. Now my application is running perfectly in a local. So now I would like to make this dockerize using the docker file. Let me stop this application. Now if you refresh, see, it won't work, right? So now we'll let me clear the screen so it would be better for. So why I showed you the local execution means, so if I show you locally, then you came to know how this application is running. So by seeing this, you came to understand it is requiring the file like requirement.txt and main file like app.py, right? So first, and also I already said it is a Python application. So we needs to have Python OS as well. So by based on this, you came to know which Docker file we required. So let me create one Docker file. So in this Docker file, I already said we needs to have Python application, And next, what we need to see, we can create a work directory. There we can copy our files, like all these files, static folder, templates folder, and requirement.txt, app.py. So everything we can copy to a required destination. Once if we copy, then what we need to do, we can export the port to 5000, and finally we need to run the command. So this I already created. Like see here, I already have my Docker file. So here I'm using the Python 3.11, and I create the work directory under app. So here I copied everything required for my application, requirement.txt, app.py, and templates folder as well. And then I'm running the pip install -r. Just now I show you now. So -r. Then I can explore my to 5000, and I'm running command python app.py. So this is my requirement.txt file. Let me copy and save here. Okay, so this how we done. So now we can so once if my docker file is ready, so we has to build that one. We have to build that docker image. So for this application, for this local execution, you needs to have Docker desktop needs to be downloaded in a Windows machine. So if it is a Windows, you can just download the Docker desktop, and in that the Docker desktop needs to be running in the background. So let me build Docker build -t chatbot Python, something whatever you needs to be chatbot -python dot. Click on enter. See, first first step it will take the Python OS. It is done, and the next second step copying the images. It is done. Then the second step work directory. Then done. Next copying the requirement.txt. It is as well done. Next app.py. Everything it got copied. Next step it is run. The pip installation what we give. Then it is exploring the layers, and then finally it is running the command. Everything is done. So now we can check the Docker images. I'm having more images. So see here chartboard underscore Python, which were we just developed chartboard -python, right? So this is the Docker image which we created. Now we have to run this Docker image. So for running, we can use Docker run hyphen -p. P means port. Port here I gave as 5000, and the image name chatbot Python. Let me enter. See here it is running. So now if you want to check through browser, we can check through browser as well. See, we are getting response, right? We are getting something, whatever we give, it will give the response, right? So this is my real-time chart app, which is just I take some sample source code from Google or something, some just for the showcase purpose. So I think you already have, I think you already searching for some of the source codes for. So you can use any source code repositories. Then you can take any sample code. Then you can. So here we're getting response, right? So instead of that, if you want to, so if I click on Control C, it got stopped. So if I refresh, so it is stopped, right? So now I'll use the same command docker run -p something, right? So if I give -p, so it will run in a detached mode. Detached mode means we can't like this. We can't able to see any local executions. Let me enter. See, it is running and Docker image, and it is running. So now let me refresh and check. See, this is running. This is how we can check in a local. So once if you developed or something, any Docker file, or it may be the local execution. So first you needs to have manual execution. Once if everything is working fine locally, then you can go to server. Okay, so now everything is perfect for my end through locally. So now I want to just now I created one Ubuntu instance. So there is nothing anything inside this instance. So just before only I created Let me connect this. So normally for me, I would like to create so normally for connecting SSH, you can use any Visual Studio, like you're connecting to Putty or Mobextrum, whatever it may be. So your choice. But now I would like to connect through Visual Studio, because through Visual Studio only I would like to able to if there is any modifications, and also it would be better for me to edit in a Visual Studio. So hence I'm connecting. So here I'm having option to view command palette. Here I can connect to host. Here I click on my instance. So click on open folder. Okay, because here it is my instance means it's already I already done connection to SSH to I already done SSH connection from Visual Studio to my instance. And if you are little bit confusion to use Visual Studio, you can connect your EC2 instance using Putty as well. And if you wants to know how to connect to EC2 instance using the Visual Studio. So for this, I already created the video how we can make a connection from Visual Studio to remote EC2. That is already uploaded. You can go and check that video as well. And if you want to continue with the Putty, you can continue with the Putty. So here I didn't have any folders. Let me create any folder like. Let me create a folder like my Python application. So this is the folder I created. So okay, let me open a terminal. Let me clear. See, this is Ubuntu instance only. Don't confuse whether I opened only in local execution. See here, Ubuntu IP 172.31. See, 172.31.46.126. This is a private IP which is showing, right? So this is I connected through it is remote server only. See the files and executions, it's somewhere different. So let me move to my Python application. See here I don't have any files. So whatever the execution which I done, this is locally, right? So in locally, whatever the executions I done, this code I already have in my GitHub repo. And I show you my GitHub repo as well. See here I don't have Docker file. Just now I created Docker file. So first let me push to Docker file as well. So let me add git commit. Here I added Docker file. I'm sorry, git commit hyphen. See one file got changed and file is added. Next I use git push. Yeah, it got pushed. Let me refresh. Here I don't have Docker file. Let me refresh. See the Docker file got executed. So now let me copy this and I'll connect through my instance. This is my instance. So here I'm using git clone and I give the app address. So let me ls cd chapo. See here I already got all the files. So because it is Visual Studio, in my perspective, Visual Studio is best editor to connect through instance, because in if you connect to Putty, you don't get this much of editing purpose, and you can't able to see all the folders in your left hand. See here you can able to see and explore all your files. So if I run this ls, so likewise how we run locally, like python app dot py. So if we run here, you're getting, so command python is not installed. So for this we needs to install python, and we needs to do something local execution that we needs to install. But here in my instance I don't have any installed python packages. So don't worry if you don't install any Python packages, just leave it is. And because I already tested in locally, right? So here what I do means I showed you two execution. One is local execution like running python app.py and using docker run command, right? So here I would like to install a Docker. So through that Docker, I would like to run my application. So let me clear the screen. So here I'm checking whether my Docker file is or not there. So here I'm already having my Docker file. Let me check this is a new install, right? So I don't think I am having Docker. So sudo yum install. I'm sorry, this is a Ubuntu, right? Sudo apt install Docker. Okay, let me install it snap. Let me try. It's downloading. So let me check. It is downloading. Uh, okay, it will take time to install. Okay, Docker is installed. So now let me check with the version. Docker version. Docker hyphen hyphen version. See here it is Docker is installed. So now let me run. Let me Docker build hyphen t and image name I can give any chart. I'll give a chartboard or something. So I'll give dot extension. So permission denied. I'll give sudo. So sudo docker build hyphen t. So now it is so how we showed locally. So it is already it is as well here having here see installing all the requirement.txt and it is copying all the requirement.files and it is running. So now let me run docker run and I'll give hyphen p pa hyphen p mean port and I'll run using 5000. Container port I give as a 5000 and application I gave as a 5000 and image name as chartboard. Let me chartboard. Okay. Before that, I'll just check whether Docker images, whether that image is created or not. Let me give it a sudo permission. It's here that chartboard is created. Let me run now. Docker run hyphen p and hyphen p port as 5000, 5000 and the chartboard. Okay. So let me give it a sudo permission. See, we got the same. But here, what we need to, so in locally, what I showed you means local host colon 5000. But here it is running on 5000. So what we need to give, mean we needs to give the public IP of the EC2 instance along with the port IP. Here the service is running on 5000, right? So we are giving the IP address colon 5000. Okay, it seems to be it is not connecting. Why? Because we need to check in a security group where we haven't enabled the port 5000. So let me go to security groups, edit inbound rules, add rule custom C 5000, click on save. Now you can come and refresh the screen. Okay, let me check whether application is running or not. Click on Control C. Let me rerun docker run -p python 5000. Now let me refresh. See, now we are getting the same responses how we are getting in a local execution. When click on hi, it will give something if I click on hello. So this way we can able to get our application. So if you want to stop, you can click on Control C, and if you want to run in a background, so you can leave -d. In a detached mode, it will run. Now if you run and see, if you sign hi, it will give some response. Like this we can able to run our application. So now what we done here, we have done two things. First we have done local execution, and we just dockerize our application. So next in a next video we can see how we can sorry next in the next video we can see how we can dockerize this. First we done dockerized image. So now after this dockerization I show you the how we can access through browser as well. In the next session we will see how we can make this deployment as automatic. Like whenever we have changed anything in a files or something, so we can create a CI/CD Jenkins file. Then through that CI/CD, what will we do means we can create one doc in GitHub. We can create a webhooks. So through that webhooks, whatever we done changes here, so it will automatically take the changes and it will trigger the Jenkins pipeline. And in Jenkins pipeline, we already create all the steps required for the cloning the repo. After that, we can include the next step, Docker build step we can include. So it will build the Docker images, and we can add in the next step, we can push the Docker image to ECR. Then after pushing, we can clone that, sorry, after pushing the Docker images, so we can pull the Docker image to wherever we want to run. In any remote server, you can just pull that Docker image and you can run that and you can check that. So then after that, finally, we can check how we can push this Docker images to EKS, to container. So how we can make this application as more stable deployment using the Kubernetes cluster. So we can see in the next session how we can push to ECR, and from that ECR to how we can deploy to EKS, that we will see in the next session. Thanks for watching the video, and if you have any doubts, please ping. Thank you. Thanks for your valuable time.